blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Monday. We made it to Monday. Hope that everyone enjoys Cinco de Mayo for the ones that celebrates it. I celebrated a little, had a little fun, but had to rush home to do a last essay because guess what? School is over for me, at least until the fall. So now I can do the things that I've been wanting to do and all of that. So I hope everyone's Monday is starting out like you needed it to. I'm going to start out by doing a Monday motivation. I'm going to start my shows with the motivation for the day, motivation for the week. So again, Kamiko Taylor, Realtor with Century 21 Judge Fight Company, the best brokerage ever. And real quick before I do the introduction or the motivation, a couple of people asked me about my pictures. So that was a branding photo shoot by my girl, Christy Thomason, who is the bomb. Okay, check her out. We had a blast on that shoot. Scheduling another one. She's just amazing. So look her up. It's 1360 photography, but it's spelled out. So 13 is spelled out, 60 is spelled out photography. Check her out. But for those that asked about my pictures, that's the lady to call. So we'll start out with, and let me say this too before I get started. I'm in the room today. Okay. I'm not downstairs because my husband's home and he's out there mowing the grass. So if you hear the lawnmower, that's because you hear him out in the backyard cutting the grass. The dog, for whatever reason, just never really bothers me, but because the door is closed in my room, she's at the door crying. So if I get interrupted, like he just called me a few minutes ago and knowing I'm on my show, just let it fly over the head. Okay. Apologies. He's only home for a day. So your Monday morning thoughts should set the tone for your whole week. See yourself getting stronger and living a fulfilling, happier, and healthier life. It's nothing like waking up on a new day of the week with positive affirmations and just a positive thought process of what's going to come about for your week. Even if some things come in and you know how it do, you have a positive mind and then boom, something happens and it's just like, there's my positivity down the drain. Don't let it, because every day is not going to be like that. And even if so, we are above ground. Okay. Any day above ground is a blessing, no matter what your circumstances are, because he allowed you another day to get it right. Okay. So, last week I discussed that, I would, talk about my experience as a first-time home buyer. But I ran across a letter that I wrote to myself when I moved here to Texas from California in 2012. And when I found this letter, I was just reading, and I actually literally dropped a few tears because I look at what I went through moving here with no family, no friends, no nobody. I just picked up and left. And all the struggles and all the things that I went through, and I'm still here. When a lot of people was like, girl, why don't you just go back home? Why don't you just pack up and go back home? I'm like, no, that's what I won't do. I don't know if it's the stubborn Gemini in me. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't going back home. Now I love Cali and I'm Cali till I die. Okay. But I'm not moving back to Cali. It just ain't happening. Love Texas. So I'm going to read this letter. All right. I hope it doesn't bore you. It's a little lengthy. I might stumble on some stuff because my handwriting, I don't know. My handwriting is just whew. But I don't even know if I maybe did this for an essay back then or something. I don't know. But I'm going to read it. Here we go. So this very moment in my life is a time that is most precious to me. Within the last 19 months, I have gone through some rough patches, lonely and humbling times. I knew that life threw curveballs, but my gosh, at times life as I know was surely not all it cracked up to be. August 2011, influenced by a friend, I decided to pack up my life and move it from beautiful sunny San Diego, California to Austin, Texas. Only visiting Austin twice, I was excited. Knowing there would be no family or friends, I still had a sense of determination and hope that I was walking into my destiny, which was to obtain my real estate license and practice here in Texas. I probably should separate the pages. Let's see here. An ex-coworker friend, Alana, love you, Alana, if you ever watch or you're watching, helped me drive across the map to a place that would soon become home to me. As we approached the Texas state line, excitement filled me greatly as we got closer and closer to Austin. Fear, nervousness, and an instant sense of loneliness consumed me. Wait, what have I done? I thought to myself. We finally made it to Austin on the night of Halloween. We made it to Austin on the night of Halloween. And I learned then that when they say keep Austin weird, yeah, that's what it was. We stayed in a hotel till early morning. We went to get the keys to my new apartment because I had my apartment all set up before I got here. And after the paperwork was done, we went to eat breakfast and prepared to take my friend back to the airport. As I watched her vanish into the crowd of travelers, tears started streaming down my face. I said to myself, this is it, Kamiko. You are truly on your own. While my daughter was still in California with her dad, I tried my best to utilize that time to get everything situated, find a job before she arrived. Days went by, then weeks went by, then a month went with no job, little income, and daughter had arrived. Approaching soon, my daughter's arrival was approaching soon. I felt like the world was against me, and that my head was so underneath the water that there was no floating back to the top. Rent and bills due again, no money. By late December, I was offered a job to start the beginning of January of 2012. Oh, what a happy day. My daughter arrived. Things were great for a few months until I had no choice but to move. I was so far behind by now that I just could not catch up. My car was repossessed. Management wouldn't work anymore with me as far as my past due rent. Eventually, I had to give up my apartment. Let's see, sending my little one back to California with her dad for a couple of months. I relocated to the Fort Worth area with a friend for 2 months. I spent my time looking for work and taking advantage of all resources available to help me get back on my feet. I landed a job after 4 months of searching. My very first check I received, I purchased a car. Clay Cooley. My second check I received, I paid the deposit on my apartment in Arlington. Things were looking up for me and I was grateful. I began to accumulate friends and my sense of loneliness began to disappear a little. There was still nothing like family to me. My daughter returned and we are settled in. I was grateful for my job, but was very miserable working in a call center. I decided last month to resign in hopes to find something related to my skill set. Which is administrative work. It has now been a month and no luck. I only had enough saved to cover the month of June. Of looking at the situation negatively, I am viewing it instead of looking at the situation negatively, I am looking at it positively. Although I don't start my real estate classes until August, I decided to enroll in summer classes and utilize this free time to learn, meditate, and pray. My daughter has left for the summer, which leaves time for me to attend seminars and study. When I reflect over the past 19 months, I'm realizing that this is it. This is my moment to grasp and get my life together. God has a purpose for me. He does not allow things and events to happen without his plan behind it. My plans, he laughed at. I have witnessed that he brings you to it. If he brings you to it, he will bring you through it. The hope that I had when I first started this journey has turned into faith out of this world. This very moment, I am determined more and more at every very moment to follow my dreams, work hard, never give up, and most importantly, keep the faith, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Wow. So when I ran across this letter, like literally it just took me back to everything I've been through. And I couldn't help but shed a tear looking at where I started and looking at where I'm at today. And where I am today, this ain't the resting point either. I'm still trying to elevate and go higher and higher. But I just never gave up. I slept on people's floors. I slept on people's couches, job after job. And I just never gave up. And here I am today. So what really struck me in that letter was the real estate part, because again, like I mentioned last week, that was my dream to be a realtor like 30 something years ago, and I just always said that I want to practice in Texas. And that was one of the reasons I moved to Texas. And every time I got ready to start my real estate courses, it was always something, back rent, car done broke down. So I got to go get that fixed. And it was just always something that mess with the finances that was going to be contributed to my real estate school. So, and back then they didn't have the programs that I use like today. I used ACEable agent, which anybody that's out there trying to obtain their real estate license, ACEable agent is amazing. I love them. I did all of my required work there, test there, education, and I passed my exam on the first try. All because of ACEable. I don't think I could have done. For one, I'm not an in-person student. All of my classes, I'm in college now, and they're all online. I know that sounds crazy, but I do better online than sitting in somebody's class. I don't know why, but maybe because I was a class clown when I was in school. I don't know, but anyway, that's my letter from the past, the old me, and here I am today. So yeah, but let's get into my experience purchasing my first home and what motivated me to go ahead and chase back after that dream I just read about to get my real estate license. So very unaware of the process to buy a home in 2020. Like I say, my husband, he owns another home, and so he was familiar with it. This would be my first home. So the process, I didn't know anything, literally nothing. So I was introduced to an individual who I was told was really good and could, make it happen, because we all think that we're not in a position to purchase. We'll come up with, my credit. I don't have enough money in the bank. I don't have the finances to, for closing or all that it entails to prepare to buy a home. And I'm here to tell you that it's doable, because I did it. Now I was a little fortunate, because I do believe that single people can be homeowners as well. It's very possible, but I did have a little help from my husband, because he did all the hustling, all the working to, get that money. I was still working at that time. So we had two incomes in the home. And I spent the first 7-8 months fixing my credit myself, because it's something I used to do back in the day. So I know the ropes, I know the letters, I know, what to send the people to get the things cleaned up on your credit that needs to be cleaned up. Your credit does not have to be perfect to purchase a home. It's just certain things, and we'll talk about that next week with my special guest that's going to be joining us. But it's just certain things that the underwriters do not want to see, and they'll point that out to you. You get that fixed up, and you'll be just fine. And one of the main things is they do want to see a certain amount of money that has been sitting in an account, not under the mattress or in the walls, but the money has to be in some type of bank account, letting it sit or whatever. So I do a lot of research. So I researched what, it would take. So I worked on my credit first. It took me about 7 months to get it to where it needed to be. And because I'm a transparent person, I think I got it. My credit score was like a 610, and I got it up to like a 680, 690 almost. And that was within 7 months. So it's doable. And I did that. The individual came in, guided me through some things. Like, when you're dealing with someone that's helping you purchase a home, you're trusting this individual to know what they're talking about, and guide you through the ropes to do the right thing. Again, clueless. So everything that I'm being told, every action I'm being told to make, it's all based off of the advice that was given to me from this individual. So it wasn't a very, I guess going through the underwriting and all of that, we went and looked at some homes. There wasn't a lot of professionalism there. It didn't really bother me though, because I'm just one of those people. I'd rather someone be you, just be you. That's one thing about me. If I represent you, I am who I am. Whether I got on high heels in a suit or whether I got on a blazer and sneakers like I do, it doesn't make me less competent. It doesn't change my education. It doesn't change anything. I just like to meet people where they are and be who you are. So I did. That didn't bother me that she was, transparent and, I can't take you guys to see a house today because my grandma is at the doctor type of thing. But for a first-time home buyer, I think it's just pretty important to always be available for your client. Just for the simple fact that a lot of people are clueless and they trust you. This is the biggest transaction of their life, unless they're buying an Aston Martin or something. You know what I mean? So we went through the process. There was things that she was having me do to make sure that I got approved. It was just things that I'm going to be truthful. I was like, huh? But again, I'm clueless. I don't know. So long story short, we finally ran across a home. At that time in 2021, the market was bananas. It was bid wars all over the place. Like every house that we would bid on, we got overbidded. Like literally, I was so frustrated. But the one thing about it was my frustration frustrated her. And that's a big no-no. Because as realtors, we do get frustrated. We're human. And people don't understand that there's times where we don't have a salary. The work that we do, taking people to see homes and over like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 homes, and you get your picky clients, which is okay because they're purchasing something that they plan to live in forever. But we don't get paid. We don't get gas money. We are literally doing these things with zero. We don't get paychecks every 2 weeks. We don't get them monthly. The only time that we are compensated for our services is after a transaction, but other than that, we come out of pocket for everything. And for me, it's a joy. I love taking people to see homes and their faces light up and, whatever the case may be. But I also do know that, I would like to see a pre-approval letter and someone who's really, truly ready to purchase. Because, hey, if you want to spend the day viewing houses, let's do it. You know what I mean? Just as long as I know that this is truly what you want to do. But So there was a few times she took us out to see houses, and there was a few times that we went on our own. And then the house that we're in now, it was like the last straw. It was come to find out, it was an investor home, or an investor purchased the home. It was a foreclosure. And it was not the greatest when we walked in and looked, but again, I don't know what to look for. So I was like, no, not doing it. So she was like, well, you know what, let me call the lister and see, maybe he's doing some work. So he sent over the seller's disclosure. And sure enough, everything that I saw that was just a hot mess, it was in the seller's disclosure that he was going to repair, fix, new HVAC, new roof, all of this. So again, I'm leaning on her to tell me what's what. So she tells me, whatever she sends a inspector. I knew that I had to get an appraisal. She explained to me what the inspector did, which was her inspector. So they came out. I think I paid $500 for that inspector, or whatever the case may be. That was that. So closing day, everything went through. Everything was fine. She made it happen, whatever. Closing day, you're supposed, because I researched. So some things I knew on my own that she didn't tell me, that she should have told me, or she should have shared with me. So the day of closing, we come and do a walkthrough of the home, and she didn't walk through it. She stood upstairs on the phone. I walked through it. Me and my daughter walked through it, and my husband, and she was upstairs the entire time on her cell phone, like literally. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and head down, or whatever. We went to the closing, took the little happy pictures that everybody take, whatever. And so about a week later, this was in April of 2021. About a week later, I had the house sprayed, treated before we moved in, since it had been vacant for so long. And I am a Cali girl. I'm scared of everything. So the pest control guy is in the garage, and he says, oh no. And I'm like, what? He's like, you have termites. What's termites? What? He was like, oh no. So he keeps inspecting, and he's like, yeah, you have termites. So he tells us what it was going to cost. So closing costs for one went from, I think we was going to pay $4,900 closing costs. It went from that to $10,000 because some of the things that needed to be done after the fact, the investor was willing to fix, but he took back all his seller credits. So we ended up having to come up with another $5,000. And this is why it's so important to prepare, because you never know what's going to happen in the end. You never know what's going to come about before the closing day. So always have a cushion, because you never know. Thank God we did. So it went from $48 something hundred to $10,000 closing costs, to, on top of that, after closing, another $1,300 for termite treatment. So I reach out to the inspector, because I'm like, I'm going for your license. Like, this is not cool, because how could you not tell me this? You know what I mean? So he comes back with receipts, and he shows me the inspection papers, and he shows what I requested, which I don't think I never requested, but the box was not checked for pest control. Okay, well, for one, how was I supposed to know that? I'm a first-time home buyer. That's something that the individual should have explained to me. I didn't know I needed to get a pest control inspection as well. I had no clue, because if that was the case, I would have paid the extra to have a pest control inspection. Never explained to me. So now this guy, I can't even go after his license, because he had receipts that the box wasn't checked for him to check that. I reach out to the individual. I say, hey, like, I'm explaining the situation. Phone call, no answer. Text message, no answer. Email, because I keep receipts. No answer, no response, no nothing. To this day, we've been in this house 3 years, April last month. To this day, no response. And I was livid. So we just paid the money, moved along, whatever. And I said, never again will I refer anyone to her. Never again. I even bought the individual and the lender closing gifts because that's how much I did my research. I mean, I wasn't truly expecting a closing gift, although me as a realtor, my sellers and buyers are going to get gifts because that's just me. I love to show gratitude. I love to show my appreciation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's 1,000 realtors out there you can choose from. But I didn't receive, but I gave. I bought both of them a closing gift. To this day, I don't even think she got the gift. The lender got his gift and appreciated it, thanked me, and she never got her gift. Ain't heard from her since. So come to find out, and this is where I'm going to say that this is why it's very important to have a realtor on your side when you are purchasing your first home, or any home for that matter, because we do the work. We do the work. We know what's required, the right way, the legal way. We know what it takes, from the negotiations to the credits and the concessions, and we just know. And we don't, I can't speak for others, but I don't want it to be an overwhelming experience, because that's the way that I felt. So I just chalked it up and said, you know what? The blessing out of it all is that we got our home. Up until about the end of last year, the feds came knocking on my door. Guess what? The individual that barely helped me through the process of purchasing my first home was not licensed. She was not licensed. Her license was revoked about 3 years ago. I had no clue. I wouldn't have known because I was clueless. So I say that so she is the reason, because of the bad experience, she is the reason why I said it reminded me of what I moved to Texas to do. And that was my real estate. And she motivated me to go ahead and take that class, get educated, get licensed, and get out here and make people's first time experiences the best ever, because mine wasn't. I mean, I guess I appreciate the process because she motivated me to just go on and get up and do something that I should have done 20 years ago, 12 years ago, because it's always been a dream. So that's why I say, even if you don't use a realtor, you can do your research. You can ask that individual for their license number. You know what I mean? That is not private information. You ask the individual, do you have a truck license number? You go to the truck site, you put that number in, and it's going to pop up their information. And if it's active, if their brokerage, everything's going to pop up. So important, because I did not know that there was so many imposters out there. So ask when someone comes, or you talk to someone, they say they're a real estate agent, they say they're a realtor. You know, there is a slight difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. But you ask them for their license number, and you go to Trek's website and you look it up to make sure that they are legit. And I wish I would have known that, but I didn't. I was clueless, didn't know. So, so that's what happened to me. And I wanted to share that because I don't want it to happen to anyone else. Lesson learned. So I am going to next week. I do have a special guest coming to join us. She's amazing. She has spoken at one of my first time homebuyer seminars here in Dallas. She is a realtor herself, and she's also a financial advisor. She teaches financial literacy classes. She's just amazing. I mean, she actually does everything. She's like a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? So we're going to have Stacy Record on with us next week to talk to you about the finance part, what to do she actually does credit repair as well, which I'm getting ready to go ahead and jump back into it myself, because a lot of people do. Sometimes people prefer to work with their realtor in every area. And then some people, prefer to keep their finances separate. I always tell people, because family and friends are going to avoid you. As a realtor, they're going to avoid you just for the simple fact that they feel like it's a violation of privacy. But what people don't understand is, honey, I am here to show you homes. I'm here to list your home. I am here to help you invest. I am here to help you find a rental. Your finances has nothing to do with me. I'm going to ask the basics. Do you have this type of money saved up? Do you have a job? What do you think your credit score is? Those are questions I'm going to ask. After that, when it gets over to the lender, that's none of my business. That's between you and the lender, because the lender is the one in the end that's going to make the decision. I'm out here doing the footwork for you, okay? Helping you to find your dream home, or helping you to list a home to find a dream home. That's what I do. So we're going to have Stacy Record on with us next week. She is amazing. You're going to love her. And I think that's all I had for today. Again, we'll be back next week, next Monday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Again, I'm always open to suggestions for topics. I'm always open for anyone to join. If you have a business related to real estate. Once again, sometimes we will get off track and may not necessarily be about real estate, but you have suggestions, you want to, use my platform to share your business within the industry, feel free. We are family. It's enough out there for everybody. It truly is. So I'm going to go ahead and end with the weekly outro motivation statement. And it is, this week, be more selective about whom you share your time and space with, whom you show your vulnerability to, what situations to react to, what to put on your to-do list, and watch where your energy goes. Energy is everything, guys. Energy controls the world now. It just really does. And I'm learning and I'm loving it. And protect it. Protect your energy, okay? And protect your peace, all right? Because it's all we got in the end. So thank you guys for joining in. Again, open to suggestions. You can catch this show also. I think it's going over to my YouTube page, which is Real Estate with Kamiko, TAYLO 3635. But I am here. Feel free to reach out to me with questions, comments, constructive criticism. I take it all. That's how we learn. So again, thank you guys for joining. And until next Monday, have an amazing week.